what is guilt showing us?
Guilt is an indicator that has been exaggerated and abused and used as a control system by a structured negative agenda, when basically it is an instant indicator that that isn't something that you wish to do, because you instantly recognize that it is with the cause and effect, that the effect of what it is that you have done is possibly going to harm another, and then possibly feel like it harms yourself. So it is a powerful tool that has been manipulated into the sacral area of your body, so as one can feel bad for longer periods of time and not know how to feel good. But it is basically, as we said, it does feel like an emotion, but it is more of an indicator, an instant indicator, that you are basically what we would call a good person, and we mean that without judgment. We are trying to use this terminology in a non-judgmental way. You are a good person, and doing this act does not feel good, so stop. And that's the end of guilt. It redirects you, but it also reminds you when it is felt that you are essentially a good person. Otherwise you would never feel the indicator.
Is guilt showing me
to move.
Is guilt showing me a program that wants to prevent me from doing something that I prefer, or is it a sign that I shouldn't be doing what I prefer, or that thought?
You are mixing guilt and shame, and they are two different things.
Okay, because when I think of doing something and then I feel guilty, I feel like it's just a program trying to prevent me. Maybe it's sabotage, or maybe it's shame.
Yes, I think this is more shame. So, as we described, the origins of guilt are the instant indicator that that is not what you prefer to do. And that's the end of it. It doesn't last more than 5 seconds. Anything that lasts more than 5 seconds is a program that has been purposely transferred onto you as the control mechanism, and you are then replaying it over and over again.
So guilt in that instance showing me what I don't prefer.
Yes, it's showing you that that isn't an action that feels natural to who you truly know yourself to be, which is the higher mind, the higher perspective person. That is its sole purpose. And if something is lasting longer, it's what we would call a toxic emotion that has been transferred in an effort to control and manipulate
so the guilt,
person's well-being.
The guilt feeling is like me trying to make myself do something I don't want to do.
If you are inflicting it upon yourself and it is only about you, you are playing out the program on yourself repeatedly.
Right.
As we said, guilt should only last 5 seconds. Anything beyond that is a toxic
right
infliction.
But when the guilt feeling comes up, I just don't know if that's a sign to me to stay away from what I'm thinking of doing, or if it's just a program interfering or sabotaging.
Well, you are, in a sense, not feeling guilt. You are calling it guilt because that is not what we see and understand as the energy known as guilt. That is just a sabotage program that you use the term guilt to understand. That is a self-saboteur. That has got nothing to do with is not a guidance. It is not negativity in that sense where you're feeling it and you're calling it guilt. It's not guidance. It is hindrance. It is a contraction. It is a shutting down of any actions that you might wish or not wish to do from a memory bank that has been transferred onto you from other beings, other authorities over your life, and you are just repeating this program.
Right. I think
so much so that you believe it to be new and in the moment.
Right. I think of something that I want to do, and then I'll have a feeling that I recognize I think is guilt, and so then I'll think, well, maybe I shouldn't do it, but I just want to understand the sign and the impulse.
The only reason not to do something is that it may cause harm.
To myself.
Or others.
And these instances are all about myself.
I want to drive my vehicle out of the road without looking left or right. Instantly there will be a kind of, no, don't do that, because you are either going to instantly cause harm to yourself or cause harm to others.
I don't have any issue or guilt or shame associated with doing things to others. This is when I'm all alone and thinking of things of just me.
But as we said, this is not really guilt.
It's shame.
It's toxic shame that you have been inflicted with, and you just repeat the pattern like a muscle memory.